I'll be fast. So yeah, this is the perfect image I found, Googling Swizzle. This is Rom Swizzle. Never had it, but seems appropriate. So first, is it working? Yeah, about me. I'll be short, just senior iOS developer at BetaShares. Started 10 plus years ago. My LinkedIn, pretty obvious, first name, last name. About BetaShares, leading Australian ETF provider. We have over $50 billion under management and 90 plus ETFs. We help Australians build their wealth. And I'm the guy who worked on the iOS app for the direct investment platform. So yeah, Swizzling. What is it? Sounds weird, right? So who here has heard of method swizzling? Okay, Objective-C guy here, okay. I see you. Yeah. But actually, probably most of you have actually used it without knowing, because most analytics, Crashlytics, all of those apps usually swizzle different methods. So you can get analytics and tracking for free. I mean, for free. It's one of those when you do automatic true. So it actually does a lot of stuff that you don't see. Actually, big stuff, dangerous stuff. So yeah, basically what it is, fancy explanation. It's a process of changing the implementation of an existing selector at runtime. So basically, simple words, you can, and this also only works for Objective-C runtime. So you cannot do this with just base Swift functions, but Objective-C functions, so functions running on Objective-C runtime, you can actually replace the original implementation at runtime. That means that even if it's some class that you don't have access to, you can, if you know the function name, you can actually replace the original function without doing an override of that class. You can literally just kind of inject your code, so to speak. Yeah, which is kind of what I just said. It's basically possible because of how Objective-C works. So, where would I need this? Right? Because it sounds weird. Like, why would I do this? So one kind of fun case where I needed it, which is kind of dumb, but yeah, is basically I had this YouTube player framework, third-party framework, that basically didn't expose the underlying AV player, so I couldn't set my own delegate. But I still needed a way to be notified when it goes into picture-in-picture, because what we wanted to do is we wanted to have a YouTube play picture-in-picture, and then when you dismiss picture-in-picture, it restores the state from a YouTube video inside your app. So I was like, shit. But the solution is you swizzle the delegate. Yeah, it sounds as weird as it is. Let me see if this works. Did it? Oh yeah. Yeah. Nice animation. So basically, it's pretty straightforward. I'm not sure if you can see, or you can imagine code. Basically, it's very simple. The main thing that you need is you need your selector. Because delegate is a property, you basically need separate getter and setter. If this was a function, you would just need one selector. But because a property has a getter and a setter, you need to do separate, and you need the original selector and the swizzle selector, which is basically the function that you make. In this case, it's an Objective-C property. And then you just get an instance method for your original selector and the swizzle selector, and you call this very C-looking method exchange implementations, where you want to exchange the origin with your swizzle. And that's pretty much it. And what happens is that when Apple's code calls the original selector inside Apple's class, it will actually call your own function, which is, in this case, the swizzle delegate, which calls the picture-in-picture delegate.shared that I made. I have code for it. The but basically it gives you a very powerful and dangerous ability to replace functions inside other classes. In this case, the AV picture-in-picture controller, without subclassing, you replace in it directly. And by doing this, it enabled me to, set my own delegate, and then I could get the callback, or the function for the picture-in-picture restore was called. So then I could notify my own SwiftUI SwiftUI code that the picture-in-picture has been dismissed, and I could restore the state. And all is history. Okay, beware. With great power comes great responsibility. There is probably a reason why you cannot do this in Swift. Because you can really mess up the code. You can imagine if you replace the original implementation without still providing the same functionality, you can actually just completely break classes that were already working before. So you got to be really careful. Doing delegates is usually quite fine, but you can imagine that you could, for example, usually tracking libraries will do that on view will appear, and those view controller functions, they will actually swizzle those to enable tracking for free, and then they will just call super itself usually, so it still kind of calls the original implementation. But yeah, I guess now you know how tracking works. When you do automatic, it just swizzles a lot. It's only possible because of the Objective-C runtime. I think that's it. That's wrong. It's burger time, but I didn't know it's burgers, so yeah, that's it. Short.